What is a galaxy? Look up at the night sky sometime, far from city lights, and you'll see thousands of tiny sparkling dots scattered across the darkness. For most of human history, nobody knew what those dots actually were. Ancient people had all sorts of guesses. Some thought the stars were tiny holes poked in a great black dome, letting light from another world shine through. Others believed they were campfires lit by spirits or the shining eyes of gods watching over the earth. One old Greek story said the hazy band of light stretching across the sky, the one we now call the Milky Way, was milk spilled by the goddess feeding a baby. For thousands of years, the night sky was less science and more story. It took a long time, and a lot of curious humans with telescopes, to figure out what was really going on up there. So let's start small and build our way up to something enormous. First, what is a planet? A planet is a big, round world that travels in a loop called an orbit around a star. Planets don't make their own light, they just reflect it, the same way a mirror reflects a flashlight. Earth is a planet, so is Mars, and Jupiter, and tiny, chilly Pluto out at the edge of our star system called the solar system. There is only one solar system because it's named after our parent star, Sol, or the Sun. Any other star will be that star's name plus the word system, so the next closest star to us, Proxima, would be the Proxima system. But both the solar system and the Proxima system are star systems. So what is a star? A star is what a planet orbits around. Stars are enormous balls of hot gas, so hot and squeezed so tightly by their own gravity that they actually cook up their own light and heat from inside through a process called fusion. Our sun is a star. It just happens to be the one closest to us, which is why it looks so much bigger and brighter than all the other stars, even though plenty of stars out there are far larger and brighter than our sun. Now here's where it gets interesting. Stars are rarely loners. Many are born in big groups out of the same giant cloud of gas and dust, kind of like siblings born in the same house. When you get a few hundred or even a few thousands, stars all clumped together, drifting through space as a group, well, that's called a star cluster. But a galaxy? A galaxy takes a big group of stars and multiplies it by an almost unthinkable amount. A galaxy isn't hundreds of stars. A galaxy isn't hundreds of thousands of stars. It's billions, sometimes even trillions of stars, all held together in one giant swirling shape by gravity, along with massive clouds of gas and dust drifting between them. Our galaxy has a name, the Milky Way. That same hazy band the old myths tried to explain, and it holds somewhere around 200 to 400 billion stars, and our sun is just one of them. Now, how big is a galaxy really? Well, here's a way to picture it. Imagine you shrank the entire Earth down to the size of a single grain of sand. On that same shrunk down scale, our galaxy would still be so wide that it would take you longer to cross it than every single human alive has ever been alive, combined many times over. Light itself, the fastest thing in the universe, takes about 100,000 years to cross from one side of the Milky Way to the other. A galaxy isn't just big, it's big in a way our brains aren't really built to picture, which is exactly what makes it so amazing to think about. Why do galaxies have that swirly, whirlpool, pinwheel shape? So, at the center of our galaxy, and in the middle of most galaxies, sits something unbelievable. A supermassive black hole. That's a spot where so much matter is packed into so small a space that gravity becomes powerful enough to swallow anything that strays too close, even light. Around it, Stars are packed together far more densely than out here where our sun lives, all swirling around that dark center like water circling a drain, just on an enormous, patient cosmic time scale. Here's something that sounds like it should be terrifying, but it is actually kind of beautiful. Sometimes entire galaxies crash into each other. Our own Milky Way is slowly heading towards a collision with a neighboring galaxy called Andromeda, billions of years from now. But here's the amazing part. When two galaxies collide, the stars almost never actually hit each other. Why? Because even though a galaxy has billions of stars, the space between each star is so enormous that the two galaxies mostly just drift through one another like two flocks of birds crossing paths in the sky. Gravity reshapes both galaxies into new swirling forms. Gas clouds mash together and light up new baby stars, but star to star, almost nothing touches. We've only just begun exploring this ocean of stars that we live in. Right now, our spacecraft have barely left our own tiny little solar system's front porch. But every year we learn to build faster engines, smarter telescopes, and bolder plans. Maybe it'll take decades, maybe it'll take centuries, but someday human eyes, or human-built machines, will travel far out into the Milky Way galaxy, visiting stars and planets that today are just faint points of light in our sky. So the next time you look up at night, remember, you're not just looking at scattered dots on a dark dome. You're looking at a tiny corner of one galaxy out of countless galaxies in a universe so big it barely makes sense. And somewhere in the middle of it all, impossibly small and impossibly lucky, is you.